When we look around us, even at our own bodies, what we see is the tip of the iceberg.
Think of this for a moment. Take your hand and look at it. Now, your hand looks solid, but it's really not. If you put it under a proper microscope, you'd see a mass of energy vibrating.
Everything is made up of the exact same thing, whether it's your hand, whether it's the ocean, or whether it's a star.
Everything is energy.
But the chemical is the foundation. He's got a bias towards the chemical. He thinks the chemical body is what we're trying to get back to. We're not trying to get back to the chemical body. The new mystery body, the new mystery landscape, which is a result of the blending of these things, has created a transparent, a permeated idea of the chemical body, where the astral plane, as I stated last week, very important press conference last week, March 25th. You can get that on the Chief Radio archives, in James' portion of that archive, that the astral plane is here. The very thing that we think we die into is now inside you. Not in a mystical thing. It is here, and you can't leave it.
And then inside of this body are organ systems, and then there's cells, and then there's molecules, and then there's atoms, and then there is energy. So there are a lot of levels to talk about something on, but everything in the universe is energy.
I don't care what city you're living in, you've got enough power in your body, potential power, to illuminate the whole city for nearly a week.
So you really can practice not eating, because the quote divine energies are inside you now. You can feed off that immortal energy. And cold fusion is a physical expression of access to the quote divine energies, the immortal energies. So I don't want to say it's divine, because that evokes a lot of cultural baggage.
Right.
It's just normal. It's sunlight. So the chemical body has merged with the astral, and the chip and the TV landscapes and bodies made that possible. It confused the astral plane hierarchy. The great masters, the Illuminati, the Great White Brotherhood, they're all nobodies now, and they have nothing to preserve. They don't need to be gatekeepers, because the astral energies are inside it. And the main principle we're trying to develop here, it's going to take a while, is if you think it, it is real.
Most people define themselves by this finite body, but you're not a finite body. I mean, even under a microscope, you're an energy field. What we know about energy is this. You go to a quantum physicist and you say, what creates the world? And he or she will say, energy. Well, describe energy. Okay, it can never be created or destroyed. It's always was, always has been. Everything that ever existed always exists. It's moving into form, through form, and out of form. Okay, great. You go to a theologian and you ask the question, what created the universe? And he or she will say, God. Okay, describe God. Always was and always has been, never can be created or destroyed, all that ever was, always will be, always moving into form, through form, and out of form. You see, it's the same description, just different terminology. And so if you think you're this meat suit running around, think again. You're a spiritual being. You're an energy field operating in a larger energy field.
Remember, James, I think you're familiar with the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Anybody
Yes.
familiar with their expertise on what happened in the astral plane when you died, when you passed over? One of the concepts they floated was the bardo. And apparently the Tibetans say that when you're in the bardos and you've moved off from this world, whatever thought you think will happen. All right? You'll immediately manifest.
Meditate on the thought that when the light appears, it is the Lord of great compassion. This is the most profound essential point. It is extremely important and prevents birth. Meditate for a long time on whichever deity is your yidam, as a vision without any real nature of its own, like an illusion. This is called the pure illusory body. Then let the yidam disappear from the edges inwards and rest for a while in the inconceivable state of emptiness luminosity, which consists in nothing whatever. Meditate again on the yidam, then again on the luminosity. Meditate like this alternately, and after that let your mind too disappear from the edges inwards. Wherever there is space, there is mind, and wherever there is mind, there is the Dharmakaya. Rest in the state of simplicity and selflessness of the Dharmakaya.
Well, that condition that was limited to the astral plane is happening here now with the synesthesia of these four bodies, the blending and mixing. What you think will happen immediately. just like on the astral plane. And if you allow it to happen, you'll notice it happen immediately. So this allowing thing is really the subtle trick game we have to explain more.
You are extensions of source energy, and you are here in these magnificent bodies, but your bodies have distracted you, for the most part, from who you really are. You are source energy. You are eternal beings. You are God force. You are that which you call God.
Right, but usually they, in their course, that's Jerry and Esther Hicks. Esther Hicks channels the Abrahams, or Abraham, there's different ways to say it, and it's like you ask, and then you wait for the manifestation of what you ask. And then once you get it, you allow it to be with you. Many people ask for something, and when they get it, they don't recognize it, or they're not sure if they really want it. They can't allow it. So the Abrahams emphasize the allowing as the final stage. My team reverses that. We say it's not 1, 2, 3, it's 3, 2, 1. Allow first, allow the most improbable concepts or ideas or things that we're talking about here, then have the answer, and then have the ask. In other words, once you allow it and realize it's immediately going to happen, then you don't even need to answer or ask. We're hyping, we're intensifying the allowing process that the Abrahams talk about, so that there is no waiting. It is immediately here.
All Buddhas and all ordinary beings are nothing but the one mind. This mind is beginningless and endless, unborn and indestructible. It has no color or shape, neither exists nor doesn't exist, isn't old or new, long or short, large or small, since it transcends all measures, limits, names, and comparisons. It is what you see in front of you. Start to think about it, and immediately you are mistaken. It is like the boundless void, which can't be fathomed or measured. The one mind is the Buddha, and there is no distinction between Buddha and ordinary beings, except that ordinary beings are attached to forms, and thus seek for Buddhahood outside themselves. By this very seeking, they lose it, since they are using Buddha to seek for Buddha, using mind to seek for mind.